is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Ohio.
One may be the loneliest number, but for the Indians, it was one big inning that led them to victory last night. 2 is the magic number for Corey Kluber. 2 starts against the Tigers, 2 wins in dominant fashion for the Tribe's ace. 3 will be key tonight as the Indians go for their second straight 3-game sweep of Detroit. Next on Sports Time Ohio. Get the brooms out. The Indians have a chance to sweep their rivals from Detroit. The Tigers are here as the Indians wrap up the series tonight at Progressive Field. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. It's been a well-played series for the Indians thus far. They've had great starting pitching. They've played spectacular defense. And the bats have come alive when they've needed to.
Well, last night it was a walk and a hit batter that set up the whole inning. After the first time through the lineup, he just dominated, and then Michael Brantley gets a key base hit, and you're going to get Napoli comes up, he gets a double, and then Yan Gomes caps it off. 3 straight hits with runners in scoring position. It was a 4-run inning. That's all the Indians needed because it was Corey Kluber the rest of the way. And the Indians have dominated the Tigers this year. When you look at it, the batting average not even close. This is why the Indians have won all 5. Starters ERA is unbelievable. 1.11 compared to a 7.0. They've outscored them early in the ballgame in the first inning, so they've always had big leads early.
Think about this. The Indians drew 3 walks in the game last night. The Indians starting pitchers in 5 games against the Tigers have only walked 3 total. So the pitching has been dynamite. And when you get good pitching, usually the defense comes along with it.
It goes hand in hand. It sure does. And Francisco Lindor, not only last night but all year, has been making plays that you know a good shortstop is supposed to make. But you know we haven't seen this guy play. He doesn't have a full year in the big leagues, but he's still amazing. And the people now and the fans that watch him play just. Day after day after day, he keeps making good plays, and not only that, he has a $1 million smile, and he is fun to watch out there play shortstop.
All-star voting has begun. I gotta believe Lindor is going to get his fair share of votes for the American League All-Star team this year. We'll be back with tonight's first pitch between the Indians and the Tigers. We'll also check in with Andre Knott, who tells us about the Indians' new catcher behind the dish tonight. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. there. The throw to first. Double play. Mike Napoli with an RBI double. A 4-run fourth for Cleveland. Lindor with another terrific play. He makes the tough ones look routine.
That's 4 straight for him.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And this one's in the books. What is that strange object in the sky? My goodness, it's the sun. As we get ready for baseball here tonight, Indians trying to sweep the Detroit Tigers. Trevor Bauer going for Cleveland against Michael Fulmer of Detroit. New catcher for the Indians, just signed and added to the ball club yesterday, Chris Jimenez. He's in the starting lineup tonight. Let's go deep down the left field line to Andre Knott with more on that.
Yes, Chris Jimenez is in the lineup tonight with Yan Gomes out for the night. Basically, the setup is like this. Chris got here about 6 o'clock yesterday, and the team basically said right away, you know what? We still want him to be with Trevor Bauer. So he sat with Trevor Bauer early during the game yesterday. These guys, they come all the way out here. You don't work that hard during the game. But Jimenez basically sat with Bauer during the game yesterday so he could figure out how to catch him. Terry Francona says, look, he's not the easiest guy to catch. So we're giving Gomes the day off today. We also found out that Roberto Perez will have surgery on his thumb, so he could be out for a little while. So you can see Chris Jimenez catching Trevor Bauer for the near future going forward.
All right, thanks a lot, Andre. Chris Jimenez has been with the ball club in the past. This is actually his 3rd separate tour of duty with the Indians organization. He's a good guy, knows his role. Not an easy role when you're not an everyday player. But hopefully he can go out there and build a little rapport with Trevor Bauer and get him off to a good start tonight, because it's the early part of the game that gave Trevor Bauer trouble in his last start.
And remember now, he's still working his way back to become a starter.
Yep.
You know, in his last start, he only went 4 innings. So he's trying to stretch it out after not making the team out of spring training as the number 5 starter. They gave that to Anderson and then to Tomlin, so he ended up going to the bullpen. So it's going to take him a little while, but Trevor can do it because he's a starter at heart.
Well, Roberto Perez, they believe, injured his thumb with a hairline fracture occurring on that play in Philadelphia. It's not something that he noticed right away or felt right away. Might have felt a little something, but it wasn't until the next morning when he came to the park it had begun to swell and had some pain in that thumb, and eventually they did some testing and realized he had a hairline fracture in there. So it's really unfortunate for Roberto because he's been very good in that role behind Yan Gomes. Trevor Bauer heating it up, getting loose tonight. And with that, we'll take a look at Brad Ausmus's starting lineup for the Detroit Tigers. Ian Kinsler in the leadoff spot. J.D. Martinez batting second. Miguel Cabrera will hit third. Victor Martinez in the cleanup spot. Justin Upton will bat fifth. Nick Castellanos absolutely on fire, leading the league in hitting. 4 hits in the series. Will bat sixth. Then it's Jared Saltalamacchia, Mike Aviles, the former Indian, batting eighth, and Andrew Romine is in center field batting ninth.
And Trevor Bauer is our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. And Bauer made his last start. It was in Philadelphia. He went 4 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs. 2 of them were in the first inning on a 2-run home run. He left a changeup up. They got to him early. And then, you know, he ended up going out. He said he was pleased with hitting his locations the way he did. If he continues to do that, you know, he's going to win some games. So hopefully he can stretch it out and put zeros on the board until that offense can score. Let's set the defense behind him tonight, which is brought to you by Jeep. It looks like this. Brantley in left, Davis in center, Chisenhall is in right, Uribe at third, Lindor at short, Kipnis is at second, Napoli at first, Jimenez doing the catching.
Jerry Meals, the crew chief, will have the plate tonight. Ron Culpa is at first base. The second base umpire is Chris Conroy. Gabe Morales down at third. You're looking at Ron Culpa, who shakes hands with Omar Vizquel, the Tigers' first base coach, before tonight's first pitch, and that belongs in the hands of Trevor Bauer. The Rocks and deals. And the first pitch is a broken back bouncer to second base. And Kipnis takes care of Kinsler, one away.
You have to like that if you're Trevor Bauer. That first pitch, bust his bat, ground out to second base.
Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. So far against the Indians, J.D. Martinez, Miguel Cabrera, and Victor Martinez have been held at bay, and that is a really good thing for the Indians. Look at that, 1 run batted in combined among the big 3 for Detroit.
Yeah, you look at the numbers, and the starting pitching for the Indians has been outstanding against the Tigers so far in the first 5 games, and they've been able to score runs. They've hit with runners in scoring position, so you know why they're 5-0.
That one came out of his hand weird. Said, get rid of that ball.
Well, Jimenez was able to get up and catch it, though, and it was over the head of J.D. Martinez.
Well, you mentioned the Indians starting pitching against the Tigers. As that ball's bounced to third. Juan Uribe, low throw, and Napoli can't quite dig it out. So an error charged to Uribe on what looked like a routine play.
Well, it was routine. He just didn't get enough on the throw, and he's upset. And a lot of times your first baseman will help you out, and he took that extra crow hop and just threw it into the ground, and Napoli couldn't come up with it. So it'll be an error on Juan. That is the 13th error for the Indians this year.
And that gives Miguel Cabrera a chance to bat with a runner on base, and that's where the Indians have been really good against Detroit. They haven't given Cabrera many chances to hit with people on base. And that's when he does most of his damage, especially against Cleveland. But a big reason for that is that the Indians starting pitchers in the 5 games against Detroit this year have only walked 3. They have struck out 28. And Rick, they're averaging 13 pitches per inning.
Yeah, that's spectacular, especially against a good offense. Well, yeah, we showed you that Cabrera has a 9-game hitting streak. Look, if you give up a single or a base hit or even a double with him and you keep him out of the RBI column, that's a great job. And you've got Martinez following. They really have done a wonderful job.
Bounced in front of the plate. Jimenez with a good block. Just a bit outside, and now it's 3-1.
Hello.
Miguel Cabrera, .275 average so far on the year. And the 3-1 pitch is inside, ball 4. Two on, 1 out for Detroit here in the first. Keys to the game brought to you by Wayside Furniture. For Trevor Bauer, keep that ball down. And the Tigers are a team that usually when they homer, they do a lot of damage. And for the Indians offensively, keep the clutch hitting rolling. In the season series, the Indians have batted .435 against Detroit with runners in scoring position. Conversely, they've held the Tigers to a .125 mark. Now, here's where it's really interesting, and that is that the Indians have had 46 at bats with a runner in scoring position. Detroit just 24.
Well, right now with that error, it's making Bauer work a little more, and he didn't want to give Cabrera much to hit, so it's bringing Victor in, but he's going to have to throw a strike sooner or later. You hate to give any offense an extra out or give them 4 outs in an inning, let alone one that has a very good offense.
To center field, and Rajay Davis runs it down, and the runners retreat. And there are 2 away here in the first inning. Victor hit it hard, but He hit it in the wrong direction because Rajay, the former Tiger, can cover some ground out there in center field.
Well, Victor did a nice job. They hit a line drive, but you can see Davis tracking it down. Can't guide it. But they get the second out and a chance to get out of the inning now. So a big out for Bauer.
And a fastball strike to Justin Upton. Upton riding a 6-game hitting streak. He has gone 3 for 8 in this series with a double.
Well, there's a high strike right there. Take a look at it on our Nissan pitch tracker. That was a little above the belt. We'll see if that's going to stay that way all game.
Same pitch. This time it's called a ball. I think they just answered your question.
Let's see.
That's the exact same pitch.
Well, it's either the exact same pitch or it might have been a little lower. It's called the ball. So that's the thing. You don't know if you're going to get that pitch right now. It's still the first inning. The first one was a strike. Very similar pitch, a ball. But that's not where you want to stay. You know, you don't want to stay up in the zone.
Two on for the Tigers, 2 out here in the first inning. And Bauer ready with a 1-1. And that's a little high, 2 balls and a strike. Mickey Callaway was really pleased with the way Bauer threw the ball his last start. You know, all things considered, he gave up a couple of runs right out of the chute against Philadelphia.
First 2 hitters.
But he felt like after that, you know, he pitched well, did what he had to do. Now the 2-1. And that's too low.
Yeah,
3
well,
balls and a
Trevor said he was happy with the way he hit his spots, you know, in his last start with Philly after they jumped him early. But this is a different team that he's facing today. This is a team of much better hitters than that Philadelphia ball club overall. So you better hit your spots with the Tigers. And right now he's pitching from behind.
That 3-1 pitch hit pretty hard. Deep right field. Back is Chisenhall. And he'll make the catch shy of the warning track. And Trevor Bauer avoids damage here in the first. The Indians are coming to bat when we come back. Chris Gimenez talking to Trevor Bauer. Got out of that top half of the first. Now the Indians come to bat for Terry Francona. This is the starting lineup presented by Progressive. Rajay Davis leading it off. Jason Kipnis bats second. Francisco Lindor, 3 hits, 3 ribbies in the series. Then it's Michael Brantley, Mike Napoli, Carlos Santana, Juan Uribe, Alani Chisenhall, and Chris Gimenez batting ninth. Michael Fulmer. Our first look at the Tiger right-hander, and his pitch is up and in, ball one to Rajai Davis.
Fulmer making his second start in the big leagues. He was just called up and pitched against Minnesota in his first start and got the win. Went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits and a couple of runs.
Davis fouling it back into count 1-2. Michael Fulmer is a native of Oklahoma. Davis waves at the off-speed pitch. 1 down here in the first.
Yeah, very good slider right here. He throws in the mid-90s, and Fulmer throws the good slider right there to get the first strikeout. And he will be our Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Tigers. You can see that's his first start. He came over to the Tigers in the Yoenis Cespedes trade when he went to the Mets last year. Made his first start against the Twins, and here comes start number 2. So we may get a chance to see this guy. Shane Green was on the DL. That's the spot he is filling.
Kipnis fouling it off.
And he has never faced an Indians hitter to this point. So that first time through, it'll all be new for the Tribe. Get a look and see what he has to offer. Mid-90s fastball, slider, and I think he does have a changeup as well.
Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Francisco Lindor waiting on deck here in inning number 1. And then the 0-2. Kipnis socks it toward right field. That's in the gap. J.D. Martinez will cut it off, and he'll hold Kipnis to a long 1-out single.
Yeah, that was a changeup that Jason hit. It was about 88 miles an hour, and you could see it was down. And Kipnis loves the ball down, but it was middle of the plate, and he made him pay. So the Indians get their first hit.
And now Francisco Lindor. And Fulmer's pitch low, ball 1.
You know, that pitch that Kipnis came in and got a base hit. He was down in the count 0-2. Got the changeup. Now he falls behind Lindor.
Upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. Francisco heating it up here in his last 11 games. Has 13 hits with 8 runs scored, 7 driven in. And he's also picked up a walk in 7 out of his last 14 games.
Well, we've been playing in our division, so that's when you want to start seeing him pick up the pace.
Those are great numbers to see Lindor putting up against Detroit here in the early going. Indians back to the 500 mark at 12-12. And after the White Sox lost last night, the Indians within 5 games of first place. The only team in the division that won last night. White Sox losing to the Red Sox. Of course, the Indians beat the Tigers. Kansas City lost at home to the Nationals big time. And I don't know who Minnesota lost to.
They lost to Houston.
That's right.
And we will be going to Houston after the Kansas City series for 3 games.
Lindor shoots one right back through the middle. And Kipnis will stop at second base. So back-to-back first inning singles here for the Indians with 1 out.
Well, unlike Kipnis, who hit down in the count 0-2, Lindor gets a 3-1 count. It's a little two-seamer away, and he drives it right back up the middle, underneath the feet of Fulmer, and it's back-to-back singles. He had to jump a little rope right there. So back-to-back singles, and again, the Indians are going to have an opportunity here in the first inning to jump up top and hit with a man in scoring position.
Now here's where the Indians have really dealt Detroit some early deficits. They've outscored the Tigers 7-0 in the first inning of the season series.
I like that. Like that a lot, because when you look at the drive this year, they're 10-4 when they score first.
Now here is Michael Brantley. And Fulmer steps off the rubber as Kipnis was dancing around at second base. Michael Brantley has 2 hits in the series. Both hits have delivered a run.
Yeah, he got him on the board last night. Base hit.
Lindor comes around first base, giving Miguel Cabrera the business a little bit there.
Okay. Now he's going to plead the fifth there to the umpire. There's 2 guys that have fun playing the game.
Miguel Cabrera's never pleaded the fifth in his life. There's a ground ball single into right field. Coming around third base, Kipnis will try to score. Martinez up with the ball. His throw cut off, and the Indians will play from in front tonight as Kipnis comes around and scores on the Brantley RBI knock to right field. And so Brantley now with 3 hits in the series, and all 3 have driven in a run.
Here he comes. Just what he did yesterday. Same spot between first and second. He got a ball down and in that he turns on. Gets it into the outfield. Lindor can go to third. In comes Kipnis. He will score run number 1, and the Tribe will lead at 1-0. That's nice. You get him going in the middle part. You get on base. That's fun. Fun to watch.
Rick, I thought it was really interesting to hear Terry Francona talking about Brantley, and yet talking about hitters in general, saying, you know, every good hitter, even the great ones, he said, they all have their timing mechanism, their markers that they have to kind of go through every year,
checkpoints,
to get ready to hit again. And he said Brantley's no different. He said he's getting there, but he said it takes time. And Napoli pops one sky high right field. This looks like it's playable for Martinez, and in the foul territory, can't make the play. And the runners will go back to the bag.
Well,
it's a long strike for Napoli.
It is. It would have scored a run if JD
he
had caught that ball, but he gets close. He gets close. He let off on the brakes. He had a chance to catch that ball, and they would have scored. But it's no play. Too close to the seats.
No error charged, in other words. So 0-1 to count on Napoli. But getting back to Brantley, Terry said, you know, he's getting there. But as we've said so many times with guys who are coming back after spending time on the DL or coming back from an injury, you just can't speed up the clock. You have to go through all of the same things. You know, you wish Michael Brantley came back and he already had 25 games under his belt and he just hit the ground running. It doesn't work that way in reality.
Fans don't realize that. When you're in the lineup, they don't care if you had surgery or not. They expect you to come back and be the same person you were. That's just the way it is. The players understand it. His manager understands it. And sometimes that puts undue pressure on the player to want to do something that he's not really capable of doing, so you have to ease into it. But patience is the key word, and the manager has it, his teammates have it. Michael will be back to being Michael really soon. And a good point, back-to-back nights, base hits to get the Indians on the board first.
I think we probably look at the lineup and speculate about who hits where, but Terry has the luxury of having a couple of guys in the lineup where it doesn't matter where they hit. They don't change. Napoli slugs one deep to left field. Back is Upton. Goodbye. Deep into the bleachers for Mike Napoli. Wow. A mammoth 3-run homer makes it a 4-run first for Cleveland.
Oh, he crushed it. I mean, hit that ball out of sight. Just by the sound of the bat, you knew it was gone. Big smiles all the way around for Mike Napoli, number 5. Listen to the crack of the bat here, and you just know it's gone. There's not a better sound in the world to a hitter than listen to that ball hit the barrel of the bat. You don't even have to watch it. You know it's gone.
That's called finding the sweet spot, I believe. Carlos Santana takes down and in. And Terry was talking about that lineup stuff, Rick. Specifically, he meant guys like Carlos Santana, Michael Brantley, and I think you could put Jason Kipnis in that same category. No matter where they hit in the lineup, they're not going to change their approach or who they are as hitters. So whether Santana's batting leadoff or he's batting 5th, he's going to work the count. He's going to take pitches. And for Brantley, the same is true. If he bats 3rd, he's a great 3-hitter. If you bat him 4th, he's a great 4-hitter. Santana slugs one. That's in the alley. That's going to the wall. And Carlos Santana pulls into second base. And the Indians with 5 straight hits in the inning.
Now Santana plugs a gap in left center field. You just said it. He's hitting 5th today, or 6th today, and just how many times you see him? I mean, I've seen him now start to use left center a little bit more. Boy, I love seeing that when he can stay on the ball. If he can do that on a consistent basis, that's going to mean a lot to this offense. But right now they are tattooing Michael Fulmer, and the hits just keep on coming.
Yeah, what do you say if you're Rich Doobie right now when you...
Hey, buddy, you better get it down there. I'm going to be out here, and you're going to be taking a shower really soon. There's not much you can say. It's only a second start. But either he's hitting middle of the plate or he's getting pitches up in the zone.
I asked Mickey Callaway, I said, you know, last night when you went out to talk to Corey Kluber in that 2nd inning after he'd thrown 9 straight balls and a couple walks, the bases were loaded. I said, what did you tell him? I said, I told him get a ground ball. And he did. He got the fielder's choice. He said, actually, I told him get a ground ball, have him hit it to a rebound, turn a double play. And they ended up hitting the ground ball to first base. Napoli came home. They got the force, but he got out of the inning. Sometimes a pitching coach might see something specific that he can go out and tell a pitcher. A lot of times it's just going out there to give him
a breather.
Give him a breather. Kind of collect your thoughts. Don't let the game speed up. The difference, however, is that when you're going out to talk to Corey Kluber, you're talking to a guy with a Cy Young under his belt. When you go out to talk to Michael Fulmer, this is his first time in the big leagues. He's only had a couple of games now, so.
Yeah, you just keep it positive. Okay, let's go. You'll be fine. Just get the ball down, get ahead the count.
And if you're the Indians right now, you're kind of foaming at the mouth, wanting to grab the bat and get up there.
Well, I can recall a start back in Kansas City when we first acquired Corey Kluber. He gave up about a 5 or a 6 spot in that first inning. You know, it happens to a lot of young pitchers. That's okay.
I remember a start right here at Progressive Field with a former Tigers flamethrower that didn't work out so well, but he's had a pretty good career since then.
Verlander? Yeah. Yes, exactly. He was called up from Erie. What was that, back in 2004 or it was 2005, I think, or 6, one of those two.
You know, right now Fulmer has been tattooed by the Indians, and they're not showing any signs of letting up here. Uribe draws a walk. 6 straight have reached safely now against the Indians.
Well, let's check out some of the locations. All right, that was a changeup down. Kipnis hit a pretty good pitch. That was a 3-1 fastball away up the middle. Now that pitch into Brantley, that's the left-hander's wheelhouse, and that one was nitro zone. Santana, ball elevated, took it to left center field, and now he walks the next guy. So I'll tell you, he's going to have to settle in. After he pitched to Davis, he threw that fastball and a nasty slider to strike him out. I said, uh-oh, this guy's got a nice slider. And then the hits have just, here they go, 5 straight. And then the walk. They already have their bullpen up and throwing.
You
the way it's been, for the Indians and the Tigers, boy, here you go. They're crushing another Tiger starter. There's Farmer up and throwing again.
Well, Lonnie Chisenhall, the 8th man to bat in the inning. Homer's 1-0 pitch is over the inside corner for a strike. Now the 1-1. Lonnie trying to get the head out quickly to turn on that pitch, but all he can do is foul it off. And now it's 1-2. The 31st pitch of the inning is swung on and missed. And Fulmer gets the strikeout, his 2nd of the inning. And there are now 2 down. And that stops a string of 6 consecutive Indians reaching base safely here in the inning. And it will bring up Chris Jimenez. Chris Jimenez is 33 years old. He was an original Cleveland Indian, 19th round pick out of Nevada Reno back in '04. Made his debut with the Indians in '09. Spent a couple of years at the big league level with Cleveland, then a year with Seattle, a couple of years with Tampa, and then went to Texas. Came back here for the end of the 2014 season, spent about 8-9 games with the Tribe. Checks. It's a strike. Last year he was with Texas, and then this year was in the Rangers organization. He was on the DL. He had an infection in his left ankle, and he was on a rehab assignment, but then designated for assignment about a week or so ago. Jimenez down on strikes to end the inning. A weird inning for Fulmer. He strikes out 3, but the Indians tag him for 4 runs.
Indians baseball is live with MLB.com at Bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
So the Indians equal their season high in the first inning with a 4-run burst against Detroit. They also had a 4-run first against Boston early in the year.
So that makes it an 11-0 advantage in the first inning against the Tigers this year.
Yep. Nick Castellanos takes a strike to even the count 1-1. Kia in the driver's seat shows you that Nick Castellanos leading the league in batting average. His teammate Victor Martinez right behind him at third. Castellanos also tied for 7th with 19 runs batted in. But he swings through that fastball from Bauer, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, Castellanos is swinging the bat very well. Couple of hits last night in his first 2 plate appearances. Had 2 the first night. 4 in the series.
Lifts that one to right field. Ronnie Chisenhall over near the line. 1 down.
For Detroit, batting 7, the catcher, number 39.
It's going to bring up Jared Saltalamacchia. His first, real action in the series. We've seen James McCann get the start in the first 2 games. Saltalamacchia did have a pinch hit appearance in game 1 of this series. Upstairs, Saltalamacchia got off to a fast start for the Tigers. He has 6 homers. He's driven in 16.
Yeah, you lead the Tigers in home runs. That's a really quick start. Doing a lot of the catching when McCann was on the disabled list.
Indians have held Saltalamacchia to just 1 for 8. That 1 is a solo home run. He goes fishing, and Bauer has his first strikeout, 2 down.
Let's make this our Circle K strikeout tonight. There you see a little 2-seamer going down. It started out below the zone, and it continued to go lower than that, and he ends up getting the swing and miss off Saltalamacchia's bat.
Swing and a miss by Andrew Roma, or Mike Aviles, excuse me. Andrew Romine is on deck. Aviles, a former Indian. A little bit up and away with a fastball.
You can hear the grunt up here. He tried to get a little extra on it. It's an 0-2 pitch.
Strikes him out. Back-to-back Ks for Trevor Bauer ends the 2nd inning. The Tigers go 1-2-3. The Indians lead it 4-0. Trevor Bauer talking to Danny Salazar after he put him down 1-2-3 in that second inning. So important to have that kind of an inning after the offense puts up runs for you, especially a 4 spot. Now Rajai Davis leading off for the second time in as many innings. And Michael Fulmer with the first pitch strike.
Well, we'll see if he had a chance to catch his breath and come out and try and get back on track. Although he struck out the side, struck out the last 2 guys, Chisenhall and Jimenez.
Popped him up. Kinsler makes the grab, 1 away. Our Levin Furniture player profile. Michael Fulmer was the first-round pick of the Mets. It was a supplemental selection. Came over to the Tigers in the Yoenis Cespedes deal. And immediately the Tigers' top prospect. It wasn't a quick path to the big leagues for Fulmer, though. Early on in his career, he had to deal with some injuries, a knee injury, a meniscus tear, and then had bone spurs in the business elbow. Had to have that taken care of. A lot of people in the Mets organization thought he was on his way to maybe being a bullpen guy. And you can see that with his arm, he could potentially be a pretty good bullpen guy and power stuff.
Well, yeah, if healthy, though, he showed us so far 3 different pitches: the fastball, the slider, and the changeup. You know, you're coming from an organization that is pitching rich, so to speak. Well, look at that. There's a slider down and in, and Kipnis swings over the top of 4 strikeouts now. Tight slider. Down and in. Look at it going straight down, 86 miles an hour. It almost, you know, it doesn't have tilt where it goes east and west. That one looked like it went straight down.
That's called a strike. Fastball away. Well, off-speed pitch, but that misses outside. And a hard hit ground ball to Kinsler, and a quick 1-2-3 inning. 2 complete. It's the Indians 4, the Tigers nothing. Stay tuned later in the game for Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Here we go. 3rd inning. Indians with a 4-0 lead. Andrew Romine to lead it off for Detroit. Romine just 1 for 10 to start the year for the Tigers. And Bauer with a little fastball that started out at his hip, just kind of worked it back over the inside corner. Shatters another bat. Uribe this time with a perfect feed to first. 1 away. Our great clip of the game from last night belongs to none other than Corey Kluber, who went all 9 and shut down the Tiger attack.
Yeah, 6 innings with 11 or less pitches. You know, he did have a couple of problems. You know, where in that second inning he lost control. He had 16 ground ball outs. Only 3 outfield outs after the 3rd inning. And 15 outs on 3 pitches or less. That'll get you a complete game.
Yeah, it's impressive to shut out a lineup like the Tigers.
It really is.
And about the only way you're going to see a complete game anymore is if you do in fact pitch a shutout.
Heads up.
Because you can't have a lot of base runners if you're going to pitch a complete game, because the pitch count ends up getting up there too high.
It does now with a lot of pitchers. That was his what, 2nd complete game shutout.
Bauer missing outside to Ian Kinsler, who grounded out on the first pitch he saw in the 1st inning, and it ate up his bat. And there's a nice cut fastball over the outside corner for Trevor Bauer. Bauer's been, I think he's been more in attack mode. I don't know if it was the temporary move to the bullpen. Uribe with a long throw, and look at that one. Right on target, 2 down. Behind the bag. That's the longest throw for a third baseman unless you're drifting into foul territory.
He was able to set his foot and really, you know, keep his weight back and make the throw. A lot of times the only other farther throw you're going to make is if that third baseman has to go over the line and on the move make the throw. And that one he was able to plant and get something on it, and it was a good, accurate throw.
We've seen Bauer, Rick, primarily fastball, cutter, a little breaking ball occasionally.
Well, he's establishing hard, you know, the fastball. He's establishing his zone. He's pitched up. He's getting guys to fly out. Look at that, and he's jamming. He's moving his fastball around.
Lindor unloads in a hurry, and Bauer rolls through the Tigers here in the 3rd on 9 pitches. He's retired 8 straight. Time right now for our Yellowwood bringing the lumber, and Michael Brantley, 3 different times in the series, has come up in a clutch spot. 3 different times he's delivered with an RBI hit.
Yeah, the last two times are almost the identical pitch, down and in. Put him in the same spot.
Michael Fulmer delivers ball one. Speed pitch in for a strike to even the count of 1-1. Now a 1-1. Brantley smokes it but fouled on the right side. Oopsie. .54 degrees at game time. One-two pitch to Brantley and a ground ball right back up the middle, and it gets through. Well, in the first inning it was Lindor who made Fulmer dance. This time it's Brantley.
Yeah, and you try and play him over a little bit more. He gets it under the glove of Mike Aviles, his former teammate, but hit it hard right back up the middle. A lot of time you can see he's playing him up the middle, but this was on the second base side, and he got enough of it to get it under the glove of Aviles. So Brantley gets his second hit. It's number 6 for the Indians.
Brings up Mike Napoli, who clobbered, clobbered a 3-run homer to the bleachers and left his first time up. Let's go down to Andre. Michael Brantley being back in the lineup. What's the overall feeling that he gives this lineup?
He gives it a presence. He gives every other player, helps him out. I heard you guys talking earlier in the first inning just about him not being there all the way, and he told me he couldn't believe Verlander threw me a changeup or a curveball in the first inning the other day. He goes, but I'll take it because I'm not on the fastball yet. But his presence, and this is just, it relaxes everybody else in this lineup when they have him in the middle of it.
It lengthens the lineup, is right. You know, it just takes a lot of pressure. When your best hitter's in there, he takes pressure off of everybody, whether he's hitting on all cylinders or not. They just know, hey, Michael Brantley's a guy that can beat you. We have to be a little more careful.
You know, it's kind of like that old saying in football, maybe, when a guy's not 100% health-wise. Now Brantley's healthy, but hitting-wise, he's not at 100% yet. But if he's 60-70%, that's better than a lot of guys at 90 or 100.
Yeah, it is. That's true. I mean, you give it what you. But like we said, he has to go through and pay his time and pay his dues to get back into the swing of things, because he's playing catch-up. Didn't have a full spring training. Didn't have a good offseason where he could hit every day like he normally does. A lot of things he could not do, so it is going to take a while for him. You know, whether it takes the rest of this month, who knows? But I like seeing base hits come every now and then, and I like seeing base runners on in front of him where they have to pitch to him and not pitch around him.
Mike Napoli sitting in a pretty good spot here, 3-0. And takes a strike.
He just clobbered that one. He got a ball, and boy, hit it a long way, halfway up the bleachers. Just the sound of that sounded great.
Fulmer with a 3-1. And this time he hits it right to the shortstop. Aviles to second for one on the first. A double play. And 2 down. Up comes Carlos Santana. Santana really stayed on the pitch. That first at bat was almost one where he should take that video and then he should have it playing on a loop in his locker every day, because it was such a great approach.
Everybody tells him that. Every time I see him hit a ball that way, if Santana could be consistent doing that, he'd become a 280 hitter, not a 220, 230 hitter. You know, he could hit for so much better of an average without pulling off the baseball.
Liner
there
in
you
the
go,
glove of
Bullet,
Kinsler.
but they're playing him over there.
And the inning is over.
Right on the nose.
3 complete. And the Indians lead it 4-0. It's 4-run first. They batted around and they put 4 on the board. But also Trevor Bauer has been impressive. He has set down 8 straight Tiger batters. And Miguel Cabrera leads off the 4th. Upstairs, ball 1. First inning, Bauer walked Cabrera and in the process threw more balls and strikes. Since then, he's completely turned it around. Second and third innings combined, 16 strikes, just 5 balls. Now the 1-1 and a good off-speed pitch. Boy, the change of speed in that pitch was really what made it work. Watch how he just literally pulls the string on this curveball.
Yeah, and yeah, the speed of it is right. You can see how it had Cabrera off balance, and you rarely see him off balance.
Trevor was trying to drive that down and away, but he didn't mean to drive it that far out of the strike zone.
Sometimes you just overthrow it. You know, he tries to get that little extra on it to make a perfect pitch.
And now a full count.
And Cabrera just took a deep breath to slow everything down.
Change up, and he just got a piece of it. That's a pretty good pitch for Bauer in a spot where changeup can be dicey with a guy like Cabrera because if it hangs upstairs.
But you know what? He really threw the slow hook before, so he's not going to throw that 3-2. But you think you're getting a fastball in that situation, but Cabrera doesn't try to pull. You see, he'll foul off the fastball. And that one was at 95. He didn't try to hit that or hit it hard or put it in play. He fouled it off. That's the frustrating thing about great hitters. You make good pitches and then they just, okay. And he lays off it for a second walk. He did that last night too.
That's an awfully good looking pitch to get called ball 4 if you're Trevor Bauer. And the Tigers get their leadoff man aboard.
Well, let's take a look. Is it upstairs?
Yep. I guess just enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you know what? That's why he made a mistake when he called that first strike earlier in the day. You know what? If you're going to be a high ball umpire, you got to call him. Maybe he made a mistake on the first one. If he's not going to call him anymore, that's fine. That was a good pitch, but he laid off.
Miguel Cabrera, he was pointing to Mike Napoli. He's like, I saw what you did the other night. You're not going to get me on that move. First game of the series, Yan Gomes picked off Upton at first base when Napoli snuck in behind him. One ball, one strike.
Victor has been swinging the bat very well, and even the outs in this series have been loud. He's hit a few atom balls.
Hit hard, and it gets by Kipnis into right field. Even with the shift on, Martinez beats it.
Yes, he did. He drove that ball right past Napoli, and Kipnis couldn't get there, and there was 3 infielders on the right side of the infield. But he got a fastball inside, and he just hammers it. You can see Cabrera has to wait, let that ball. Well, he didn't have to wait long because that ball was by him in a heartbeat. So a base hit now. That is the very first hit for the Tigers tonight.
And it will bring up Justin Upton. Upton flied to right his first time up, but he got pretty good contact on the baseball. Didn't hit it as hard maybe as he would have liked, but he didn't miss by much to drive it out of here. Bauer attacks and gets ahead with a strike.
I don't care how big you are and how good a hitter you are, it's still hard to drive a ball the other way and get it out of the ballpark. Everything has to be right in sync.
A little bit low.
Bauer's looking for a ground ball. They'd like to turn a double play. First two men have reached. There's nobody out. He's been running the fastball inside on some of the hitters. Jamming him. There's strike two. And really no speed on the bases for the Tigers.
And he ran it in, got a piece of it, did Upton.
We want to send our congratulations along to one of Cleveland's finest. It's Detective Jim Kiefer. He retired today after 30 years of service on the Cleveland Police Department. So, Jim, enjoy your retirement. We're going to miss you at the ballpark, and have fun, my friend.
Hit, foul up the third base side.
Uribe was sure he's able to get to anything to the line that's going to stay fair. That one clearly foul. Jimenez a quick jaunt out to talk to Bauer.
Now the 1-2 from Bauer. Bounced in front of the plate. Did he go? They appeal no. He did not, says Ron Kolpa down at first. And the count on 2-2.
Tried to get him to chase the curveball. Jimenez a nice job of keeping the ball out in front. When you call that pitch for never catching him before, you know, not an easy job for him. It's the first time he's had an opportunity to see Trevor Bauer. But they seem to be on the same page to this point.
Now the 2-2, and he's swinging a foul ball out of play. Well, as Andre told us earlier, they sat together last night, watched the game, and I'm sure Chris did as good a job as he could at picking the brain of Trevor, trying to get an idea of what he likes to do in certain situations. It can't be easy, as you said, and you're going to be in there in less than 24 hours working with the guy for the first time. Pitch inning, 8th pitch of the at bat, and just a bit outside, full count.
Bauer put his hands on his hips. These are the situations, though, that you got to look at when you get runners in scoring position. It's a good pitch, maybe a little low, but it was a good pitch. He didn't get the swing at it, though. You get runners in scoring position. This is where you have to be on the same page with this guy. Let's go with this pitch. Believe me. Trevor's a guy that always likes to throw what he wants to, and I don't blame him. He's got 6 or 7 pitches. There you go.
Lindor to second. There's one. Kipnis trying to turn 2, not in time. So there's one out, but now Tigers at first and third.
Just wasn't hit hard enough, and it got inside on him, and Lindor does everything he can to get it to Kipnis. Kip gets rid of it on the relay, and Upton's speed just beats it out. But there's still a double play in order.
But the American League's top hitter is at the plate. So the real challenge here for Bauer to keep the Tigers off the board here in the 4th. As Nick Castellanos batting 6th in the lineup, but currently on this the 5th of May leads the American League with a .378 average coming in. And this being the 5th of May reminds us that not only is it Cinco de Mayo, but it's Charlie Nagy's birthday.
Yes, it is. Wherever you are, Charlie, happy birthday.
He's at home. The Angels have an off day.
Oh, they did well.
Flew home from Milwaukee yesterday.
How lucky is that?
He's spending the day at home in San Diego.
Well, enjoy it. We'll see him soon.
The 1-0 pitch swung out and missed. Castellanos was trying to get the Tigers a 3-pointer. Boy, speaking of 3-pointers, the Cavaliers last night were unbelievable.
They had 25 of them.
18 in the first half.
Wow. Incredible.
It was something special.
We got to see our own 3-pointer in the first inning. It was Mike Napoli 3-pointer.
Not J.R. Smith. He's still shooting wherever he's at.
J.R. Napoli.
It was funny after the game. They were asking LeBron about J.R. Smith, asking him something about would you ever want to be him just for a game? Just shoot from wherever you're at. And he said something to the effect that one thing about JR, if he gets the ball, he's going to shoot it.
Why not?
Now the 2-1 from Bauer. Hit high, hit deep, right field. Chisenhall back. He's at the wall, but it's gone. And Castellanos does indeed put a 3-pointer on the board for Detroit, and it's a 1-run game.
Speaking of 3-pointers, and he drove it out to right field. His was down there close enough to the line to get out of here. He stayed back behind it, and this young man stays hot, brings Detroit right back into the game for Castellanos, his 5th homer and his 22nd RBI with the 3. There's a fastball middle in. He stayed inside the baseball, put a really good swing on it, and back comes Detroit.
And now Jared Saltalamacchia fouls it off.
Bauer, his 3rd home run allowed.
So that fastball right by him, elevated it just enough. He swung at a ball that bounced in front of him, and Bauer strikes him out. 2 down. Injury report tonight brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Alex Rodriguez has a right hamstring injury that has landed him on the DL, and Tony Zick from Seattle has a right shoulder injury. Mike Aviles, for the 2nd time tonight, struck out his 1st time up. Just a bit outside, 1-1. It's funny watching this matchup. I was thinking back to a year ago when we saw Bauer impersonate Aviles at the plate
when he was in Pittsburgh.
And Aviles thought it was the greatest thing. I mean, he was howling in the dugout watching it. And he hits it hard, and Kipnis picks it off the grass, throws him out, and the inning is over. But Nick Castellanos with a big boom, and the Tigers are right back in it. 4-3 Cleveland, middle of the 4th. Club of Cleveland performed their Spring Arts Showcase in the Gateway Plaza. The Boys and Girls Club band, ballet, and guitar ensembles performed, and special guest Danny Salazar stopped by to enjoy the festivities as well. Juan Uribe leading off. He walked in the first inning when the Indians scored 4 right out of the gate. But now the Tigers have put up a 3 spot. So the Indians are going to have to try to get back to work against Fulmer. Cabrera gives it a look. He might get to it. No, it's just beyond his reach. In that first inning, the Indians had 5 straight hits. 3 straight singles and a 3-run homer and a double.
Look at Cabrera going.
Uribe breaks his bat and bounces it through the infield. How do you like that?
Strong enough to get it through. Off the end of the bat, on the breaking ball. Broke twice, once when he swung it and once when he put it down. Gets it into center field, perfectly placed. 7th hit for the Indians and the leadoff man aboard.
Now let's see if Lonnie Chisenhall can keep the momentum going.
It's his second 0-2 base hit that Fulmer has allowed today. Kipnis did it back in the first.
Lonnie breaks his bat, but the ball goes into the Indians' dugout. A couple of different pieces of that
must
bat
have been
flew.
again a cupped end where you hit it right off the end and it splits. You watch. A piece of it goes flying down the first baseline. There it is. It is a cupped end where they take out about a ½ an ounce of that wood at the end of it. Make it a little lighter so it's not so top heavy. And when you hit it off the end, sometimes it splits, and that one certainly did.
Now Fulmer zeroes in with the 0-2. Wants it up high to assault to Lamacchia, but that's just not what he had in mind.
Not that high.
Lonnie with a bouncer to first, fair ball. Cabrera throws to second. Did he step on the bag at first?
Yeah, he sure did. He hit the bag before he even threw the ball, and he made a really good throw because a lot of times that runner will be in your line throwing that ball to second base. But he threw a seed. Watch. A fair ball, stepped on it, left foot, throws it, gets by Uribe, and Aviles makes it tag. So a double play.
So that's twice in as many innings now. The Indians get a leadoff single, and the next guy hits into a double play. Now Chris Jimenez swings at the first pitch, drives it to deep center. Back is Romine. He's out of room. It's out of here. Welcome back to Cleveland, Chris Jimenez. He launched it to straightaway center field. And it was beyond the reach of a leaping Andrew Romine. And the Indians' lead is now 5-3.
Yeah, you can go ahead and smile, buddy. You didn't expect that, but he comes right back and jumps him on a high fastball and hits it to straightaway center. And boy, that gets one right back. So you answer it, which is beautiful. Romine not a center fielder. He jumped into the wall. He wasn't going to get it anyway. So Jimenez hits his first home run. Welcome back and congratulations.
And Rajay Davis looks at a ball down low. Rajay couldn't help himself there. 1-1. Hold off the off-speed pitch.
Yeah, he's had him with that slider tonight. That's the pitch he got him to strike out with the first at bat.
Down low. And just like that, it's a full count. The payoff pitch is ball 4. So a 2-out walk for Rajay.
Well, watch the game from the corner out in right field, or the new drink rails out in left field with the District, presented by Sports Time Ohio. District tickets are only $13. It includes your first drink. They are available online now at Indians.com/district ticket. I'm going to see what kind of move this guy has, because this is a perfect time for Davis to run. 2-run lead, middle part of the game, 2 outs.
He's taken off. No, he turned and goes back to the bag.
That's okay. He felt his jump wasn't good enough.
I don't think I've ever seen a guy do a right-hand turn like that.
You know what, though? He was testing. He was going to go, and then he didn't feel good about that third step. So he makes the U-turn. You're allowed to U-turn in the base pass. There's no sign out there. He got back to first base. So he's going to take off given the opportunity.
No citation issued.
No siree. That's why we sent out that congratulations to one of Cleveland's finest, so they wouldn't issue any tickets tonight to us.
Well, they're keeping a close eye on the down.
Well, they will now. With Salty behind the plate. And Rajay, he doesn't waste time. You know, if he gets a jump, he's going to go early to give that hitter an opportunity. And that first pitch was a strike to Kipnis.
Kipnis with a long fly ball to right field. Long run for J.D. Martinez, but he's there. And the inning is over. Chris Jimenez returns to Cleveland, and in his second at bat with the Tribe, he launches one out of here. 5-3 Indians. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. (5-3) Cleveland. 5th inning. Andrew Romine to lead off for Detroit. Trevor Bauer with a Big curveball, but it misses. Ball 1. Foul tip evens the count. And a good fastball runs it by him 1-2. Curveball fouled away. Bauer about to turn the lineup over for the 3rd time tonight.
This will be pitch number 75.
Just a little bit low. And it evens the count.
Wanted that heater inside, but what happened, it had a little run to come back over the plate. He did throw 2 fastballs by him earlier in the at-bat.
Upstairs and a full count. Not sure what that was. They registered 88. Foul back off the fastball. And a fastball fouled away again by Romine. Takes him off 3 times. You want to stay with the heater.
Yeah, what's this, about an 11 pitch at bat now? Yeah, that was pitch number 10. So this is a lot of work for the number 9 hitter. Had him down on the count too.
Got him looking. And I don't know. I mean, it was all fastballs for Bauer. That one, obviously, Romine just felt either he couldn't get to it because he was looking away, but he just ran it right over the inside part of the plate.
Well, let's take a peek. That's a perfect pitch right there. Little movement on it. Come back fastball inside part of the plate. Good pitch. Strikeout number 4 for Bauer.
But sometimes after a lengthy at bat like that, the next guys in line can benefit. Kinsler looks at the ball outside. Two and 0, and he's seeing a little frustration from Trevor. Upset after he worked so hard to get the strikeout of Romine. He's got to go right back to hard work again to get Kinsler.
Yeah, well, this is a big inning for him. You come out there, and a lot of times he lets guys back in at bats, and you can see when he's been in front, ahead, about 2 or 3 times he'll throw it as hard as he can, maybe trying to get a little more on it, but you're losing your control with that. Sometimes just go stay with that same pitch and get it out. There's nothing wrong with getting it out on 3-4 pitches.
That's what we saw from Kluber last night. A very efficient performance for most of that game. Fly ball center field. Rajay Davis makes the catch, and we go to Andre Dunn.
You know, during a baseball game, a lot of things are going on all at once. During that Jimenez home run in the last inning, Brad Mills, the bench coach for the Indians, went right to Tyler Naquin. And they began talking about how Romine had to go back to the center field wall and how he tried to go up on it, basically off this play last night. And basically, Millsy was telling him, you got to jump before you get there. You can't relax and go to the wall. So it was a teaching moment. It was a big moment for the Indians offense, but also a teaching moment for Tyler Naquin in that home run.
Well, it certainly is. There's always something that you can watch, you can learn from.
Well, it just goes to show you when you've got a job to do. He's not down there cheerleading and jumping up and down with pom-poms. He's doing his job. Even when everybody else is celebrating, he's thinking about, hey, let's learn something out of this.
Well, the one thing is Romine's not a center fielder where Naquin is. So Naquin has to learn. That's all part of his job. That's what you have to do when you go out there early in batting practice. You take fungos, you take balls off bat, you practice. You get to know every stadium, every ballpark, every wall you go to.
Well, Arch, one question I want to ask you as an outfielder, how much can you practice that play on the wall?
You can practice it all day long. You get a guy with a fungo that's halfway out in the outfield. He can hit you fungos where you can go back on the ball, or he doesn't even have to hit a fungo. He can go out and throw the ball. And you can throw it at different to get you to know when to jump and to get your feel. Sometimes when you're going straight back, he had time to get to that wall last night. And you get there, or you take a peek right at the last minute before you jump about 2 feet away. You got to know your footwork and the size of the warning track when you're breaking back there. And every ballpark's different.
Yeah, there are very few cookie cutters anymore. Every park's got its own little nuances. Hard hit smash to short. Lindor sets and throws. And a 1-2-3 fifth inning for Trevor Bauer in the Tribe. Indians lead it. Bottom half of the fifth inning. Francisco Lindor, Michael Brantley, and Mike Napoli due up for the Indians. Lindor singled and scored in the first, grounded out his last time up. Just outside. Down the left side, out of play.
Send along special birthday wishes. Happy 75th to Bill Kaup from Hopkins, South Carolina, originally from Parma Heights. Happy birthday, Bill. Hope you're watching tonight.
And Lindor goes up chasing a pitch way out of the strike zone. And that's the 5th strikeout now for Michael Fulmer. It's time for T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. Daniel Murphy of the Washington Nationals yesterday went 4 for 5, drove in 3, scored 4. Last year with the Mets, he had a great NLCS, but then a lot of people pointed to him as the scapegoat for the Mets in the World Series. Funny how that often works in sports. If not for Murphy, they don't get to the World Series. Once there, they tried to pin it all on him.
What have you done for me lately?
Michael Brantley has done this tonight. 2 for 2. Another run batted in.
Well, he came in that backdoor slider. I don't think Michael agreed with it, that it caught the plate, so he's going to step out and say, okay, I'm going to regroup.
One ball, 2 strikes. I'll tell you, Michael Fulmer has rebounded nicely after what looked like a disastrous first inning. They had the bullpen up in the inning number 1. And all he's allowed since was the solo homer by Jimenez in the 4th.
Well, that's what you look for with a young pitcher. It's only his 2nd major league start. You know, he gets roughed up in the first. All right, how does he settle down? How does he react? Well, you know what? He settled down. He put a couple of zeros on the board, and then his offense brought him right back. And then Jimenez hit one out to take a little momentum away, but he settled down nicely. Made a bad pitch to Jimenez, left the fastball up.
Yeah, he's finding out what the rest of the league has found out. Getting Michael Brantley down in 0-2 is one thing. Putting him away is a whole different story.
This guy can hit with. See, he spit on that little breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. It's going to have to be a strike for him to swing at it. Look at that.
And a smash into left field for Brantley.
Sweetheart. I'll tell you what.
3 for 3.
You talk about staying back and hitting it where it's pitched. He pulled the 1 ball in the hole in his first at-bat down and in. His second at-bat went up the middle and beat that shift that was Aviles was over. And this at-bat with the full count, he wanted to pitch him away, so he slaps it to left field. And now he beats the 3rd baseman, Castellanos. So Michael has hit the ball in 3 different spots, found 3 different hits. And that tells me that he's getting a feel to coming back.
And now Napoli shoots one up the middle, knocked down by the shortstop, but they don't get the play because Aviles, who made a great play on the ball, couldn't get it out of his glove to get the force.
I think he was stuck on his arm. You know, when he dives for the ball, look at, he's looking at his elbow. He couldn't get his arm out to pick the ball up and flip it. It was late. I got blocked out. He's down. There it is. See? He couldn't get it out of his glove. And Kinsler was going to try and get it like he was going to turn it, and he had the ball, but he just was tardy getting it out. Look at him. That's so frustrating because you're rushing and trying to get just the 1 out. But the harder you try, the slower it gets.
Had Kinsler caught it, it still would have been awfully close.
Yeah, he might have been out. But I'm saying he was trying to turn it to let the umpire know. It's a nice stop, but it goes as a base hit.
Yeah, now Carlos Santana can do some damage. Down and in, ball 1. Bullpen busy for Detroit.
Yeah, they can't afford to give up any more here.
Drew Verhagen getting loose for the Tigers. Santana stroked a double to deep left center his first time up. And the last time up he hit it right on the screws, but it was a line drive to the second baseman Kinsler.
Can't hit it any harder than he hit it the last time up, and nothing to show.
But now with the base traffic, not as much of a shift, Rick. Down and in.
Well, let's see how the approach goes on this at-bat. With runners in scoring position. He's in a hitter's count right now, so you get very selective, and out comes Rick Doobie. Doobie is going to slow it down to make sure that bullpen is ready should something happen here.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to come out in the middle of an at-bat.
Only to slow it down. He wants to make sure his pitcher's ready because this could be the very last hitter that he faces. And 2016 season tickets are still available and include 8 different plans. When you buy a prorated 20-game plan, you'll get up to 12 games free. Visit Indians.com season tickets for more details.
Now Michael Fuller is in some tall cotton right now. Carlos Santana tried to knock him out of the game. Brantley's at second base, Napoli at first.
Well, that's a stall tactic, and he's, you know, that bullpen is probably ready by now.
Santana was trying to hit that one 500 feet. A little bit too quick.
Yeah, but you get that 2-0 count and you're looking for that pitch, but it was an off-speed pitch. I don't know if it was a cutter or slider. Might have been that slider down and in. You swing it over the top. That's where you really get. If he's looking for it, then you get after it. If not, you take it.
Hammered, and look out below. Woo! That ball had some steam coming off of it.
Another breaking ball.
Look at that guy, never moved. I got it right here. No big
It's the
deal.
best way to do it.
That's right.
Pick it up when it stops.
That's everybody else is scrambling. He's like, yeah, I got it right here.
No kidding. That's the way Bob Uecker used to catch knuckleball pitchers. Pick it up when it stopped rolling.
They'll count back to even at 2-2. Key spot in the game right here. And Santana strikes out. Boy, Fulmer gets a huge out when he needed it. And there are 2 away.
Yeah, his 6th strikeout, and he came back after 2-0. He came back with 3 straight sliders and 3 straight swings by Santana.
He got Kipnis on that pitch earlier, Rick.
Yeah, I know it. It goes straight down.
For the left-handers especially, it must be tough to lay off.
Well, you see it, but that thing goes down a lot more than you think.
Here's Watanabe, walked in the first, singled in the fourth. And Fulmer tried to throw that one a little too hard. Off-speed pitch of some sort. I tell you, for a guy who looks like he's coming at you with max effort, he really is able to throw a very good secondary pitch, that slider.
Well, you can see that's his go-to pitch. That's something to file away. You can see how he has had to work the first inning. 34 pitches. He was nearly done, but he's staying out there, and he needs 1, 2, maybe 3 more pitches trying to get out of this 5th inning, and that would probably do it for him, I would think.
Uribe patiently waiting him out here.
Well, that's the veteran hitters, man. They're going to make him get in that zone.
Chisenhall would be next. Fulmer's pitch. Broken bat, center field coming hard. Romine, and they collide, but they hang on. Who's got it? JD has it, and the inning is over. The right fielder Martinez cut in front of Romine. The Tigers avoid disaster and injury, and the inning is over.
Under with the purchase of an adult ticket. They are located in the family deck here at Progressive Field and are only available at Indians.com.
Well, the Indians had a chance to really deliver a serious blow to the Tigers' hopes here, and Fulmer got off the hook. It remains a 5-3 ball game. Miguel Cabrera leads off the 6th now for Detroit.
Okay.
Jammed him. On the run, Lindor unloads, got him. One away.
Well, not many times you're going to get in there that deep on Miguel Cabrera. He just ran that two-seamer in, and it was on his fist. Hit weakly, and an easy play for Lindor, so they get that first out. Good pitch.
Victor Martinez hit a line drive to center field for an out his first time up, and in the last time up, even with this shift on, he hit a bullet between Napoli and Kipnis for a single. Just missed inside, not by much. .59% strikes. Indians bullpen quiet for the moment, but looks like we're going to get some action here. Somebody's up, about to start throwing. And he misses high, 3-1. Jeff Manship, right-hander, going to get loose. That stays fair behind the bag. Napoli will take it himself.
Plenty of time.
And on
Victor
a
running.
3-1 pitch, that's a huge out for Trevor Bauer. 2 down. In-game recap brought to you by your Toyota dealers. Mike Napoli with a mammoth 3-run homer in the first, made it 4-0. But Nick Castellanos, he drilled a 3-pointer in the 4th to pull Detroit within a run. And then Chris Jimenez, in his first start back with the ball club, got a solo shot to restore a 2-run advantage for the Indians. Now Justin Upton. And a swing and a miss. He's 0 for 2 here tonight.
Nice curveball. Very nice. This could be the last hitter for Bauer. He can get it through 6.
Upstairs. Now the 1-2. Clubbed deep left. Look out. Off the wall. High off the wall. Brantley makes a strong throw to second base, and he is safe. Ball kicked out of the glove of Kipnis. And upped it in with a 2-out double by the hair on his chin.
You know, that Brantley played that ball off the wall, but by the time he throws it, boy, it could have been pretty close at second base. It's a curveball after we went upstairs with 2 strikes with the heater. Watch this ball get a little bit past Brantley, but he can't. He comes up. His momentum's right there. Should Kipnis catch it? It was sort of a tough hop, in between hop for him. It's a little long. You know, he came down on it and knocked the ball out of his glove. It's a little tougher play. So it's a double, and that's going to do it for Bauer.
Trevor Bauer goes 5 2/3 innings tonight. Only 3 hits allowed for Bauer. But the Tigers have 3 on the board, looking for more. And with the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen for Jeff Manship, they're going to try to hold the Tigers at bay. We'll be right back. Tigers will have the tying run at the plate. And it's the league's top hitter, Nick Castellanos. New pitcher for the Tribe is Jeff Manship, making his 10th appearance on the year.
7 innings, 3 punch-outs. Has walked 4, but he's coming on to face the best hitter in this lineup right now. He's the reason that they have 3 on the board.
And that pitch inside, ball 1. And that's a called strike 1-1. Uh-oh, that's hit high. Deep to left. Brantley back on the run. Makes a diving catch on the warning track and saves the day.
Wow.
Oh, Micah Brantley, how do you do? A spectacular laid out catch on the warning track. And the inning is over. What a nice play by Brent to end that inning.
Well, it really was. I thought that ball was going to be off the wall. It must have had a lot of topspin. It was a hanging breaking ball. Manship thought it was over his head too, but Brantley on the dead run is able to get it. That ball was spinning, coming down. It gets it in the glove, and then he goes down for the dive. But that's a big play at the time of the ball game. No telling what could happen. But he gets out of the inning. So nice catch. Verhagen on. Drew Verhagen for the Tigers.
And he's greeted with a line drive single to left field by Lonnie Chisenhall, his first hit tonight. And that is the 11th hit in the game for Cleveland.
Jumps on that first little fastball away that he sees. Takes it into left field. 11th hit for the Tribe.
Now Chris Jimenez, who jabbed at it, actually got a piece of the bat on it. Trying to bunt that runner in the scoring position again, pulls it back. You know what? Thought it was interesting earlier, Rick, when Chris Jimenez was catching and Victor Martinez came to the plate. I started thinking, you know, that's kind of an interesting cross section of the Indians franchise and where a key moment occurred back in '09 when the Indians traded Victor Martinez back then to Boston. Chris Jimenez, that was the year he made his major league debut. Kelly Shoppach sort of became the everyday catcher once Victor was traded.
Yeah.
But Chris got his opportunity, more opportunities, obviously, once they traded Victor Martinez. It's going to be fouled on the right side. But it was one of those trades where, at the time, I think it was tough for everybody in the Indians organization. Victor was in tears. I mean, it was one of those just really tough days all the way around. And as hard as it was to see him go to Boston, it was even harder to see him end up with the Tigers and come to Cleveland 3 times a year and do what he has done against the Indians.
Well, he's always played very well, even when he was with Boston against his former team. But that happens a lot in this game of baseball.
Jimenez hammers this one right field near the line, and a nice running catch. Boy, J.D. Martinez got a terrific jump on that ball.
It's a good at bat. Wanted him to bunt, but I'll tell you, he almost got a base hit. It was a breaking ball, a high breaking ball. But boy, he was no doubt in his mind, he's thinking of taking it the other way to get Chisenhall. They tried to first and third him, so really good at bat by Jimenez there. On a ball that was out of the strike zone, got on top of a high curve ball.
I was just thinking, Rick, wasn't it last night? Who was it that hit the double, or was it a single to right field? And it was Francisco Lindor. I think he hit the double to right field. I got the scorecards mixed up. It was Napoli. Remember Napoli hit that high double to right field?
Right.
And Martinez looked like he ran forever and never got to the ball.
Well, they were playing him over in right center to pull. They weren't playing him down the line. And he was trying to shoot it that way and stayed back on it.
Now Rajay Davis fouls one out of play. He's 0 for 2, but he walked his last time up.
Verhagen, this is his 3rd time out. He's pitched 2 1/3 innings against the Indians, giving up 7 hits and 5 earnings. They roughed him up in Detroit in that Verlander game. No, excuse me, not in Detroit. It was the second game. The Sanchez game where he came in relief.
Able to lay off. Zach McAllister up in the tried pin, but right now it's Drew Verhagen who delivers, and it's fouled off. Danny Salazar a little late to the party. If you're supposed to be over there protecting our guy Andre, you got to get a better first step than that, Danny.
I'm going to see what month Andre takes that hat off.
It's a lie.
Yeah, it probably will be for you.
The 2-2. And Davis goes fishing. He strikes out. 2 down. That's going to bring up Jason Kipnis. Yeah, Jason Kipnis had a base hit in the first inning. That started the avalanche in inning number 1. 5 straight hits as the Indians would score 4 times. Smash into left field by Kipnis. Chisenhall on his way to third. He'll make it there easily. Kipnis took a wide turn, thought about maybe going for 2, but he'll hold with a 2-out single, and now the Indians have runners at the corners.
Well, he had the left-hander up in the bullpen, Hardy, and there's Kipnis taking it the other way. That's a good swing on a low fastball. With 2 outs, Chisenhall can get to third base. You keep the inning going. It's up to Francisco Lindor now to see if they can give him more than a 2-run lead. 2 outs here in the 6th.
And Lindor so far tonight is 1 for 3. That gives him 4 hits in the series. He's driven in a total of 3 thus far. That came on 1 swing of the bat. And that pitch down and in for ball 1. And a strike called to even the count. Snap throw, and Kipnis dove back to the corner of the bag to avoid the tag. Kipnis takes off, and a little tap right in front of the mound. And that will end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left, 6 complete. Cleveland 5, Detroit 3. Baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by Ford, built Ford tough.
Well, bring the kids to the ballpark on Sunday for the first KeyBank Kids Fun Day of the season. The kids will be able to run the bases after the ball game. Just go to Indians.com, kids, for all the details.
Well, Jeff Manship was only needed for one batter. He got Nick Castellanos to end the sixth. Now it's up to Zach McAllister to work through the seventh. He's got the bottom third of the order. Darren Saltalamacchia, Mike Avila's Andrew Romine duo. And a fastball popped up. One pitch, potentially one out. Brantley comes all the way in to make the catch. Down to Andre in that great snow hat he's got on.
Hey, when it gets a little warmer, I'll take it off. It's not warm. Speaking of that, I would sit down here last year next to Mike Aviles during many a game, and he would break down other guys' swings, other guys' pitches, and he was just a guy, he's a student of the game. And I asked this question as I think about it, how much does that help you when you go to the other side, especially going against a guy like Zach McAllister?
Well, you can know everything you want to know about a guy, but you still have to get in that batter's box and see him for yourself. You can see tendencies. You know what he may like to throw in certain situations, but you still have to hit it. I mean, he played behind Bauer, I'm sure, a couple of different positions. So I'm sure he knows what he was throwing. He wasn't able to do anything off Bauer, although he hit one ball hard that Kipnis made a play on.
Even the hitters, though. I mean, he would break down Brantley's swing. He would break down Kipnis' swing and know their tendencies as well. It's just interesting, just something you think about because he is a guy that knew his teammates very well.
The 1-1 pitch. And a foul right back. Hate to point out the obvious, but the Indians are 5-0 against Detroit this year. So if Mike has imparted any scouting reports or any inside information, it hasn't done much good to this point. Now the 1-2. I would think, if anything, Rick, if you're Mike Aviles, there's no mystery. You know, a lot of times if you're a hitter, you're going up, you're wondering, wonder what this guy likes to throw in these situations. You have the scouting reports, but for him,
yeah,
not a lot of mystery because he knows them.
Absolutely. He watched him through situations, and you know, it should help him go out there. But the thing of it is, he's not going to get the playing time, not nearly as much as he played when he was here.
He strikes out, and there are two down in this bottom third of the Tiger lineup, regardless of what combination Brad Ausmus has gone with over the last two games. They're 0 for 15. Well, big series starts tomorrow night. The world champs are here. Yordano Ventura will go up against Danny Salazar. We got a 7 o'clock first pitch. Saturday, 4 o'clock, as Cody Anderson makes his return. Sunday, the series in the homestand wraps up with Josh Tomlin at 1. And Andrew Romine takes a strike. Two strikes on Andrew Romine. And McAllister's pitch. I think almost everybody on the field was, well, moving toward the dugout.
I know the guys on the right side of the infield were. They were coming in. Let's see the fastball. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's a good pitch. Good pitch. I'd be moving too.
And he fouls this one back out of play.
You remember, what was it, about a 10 or 11 pitch at bat that he put on Bauer his last time out, and he took that pitch for a strike, and this time it wasn't called a strike. That's the very same pitch he took.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Ball in the dirt. Jimenez with a throw to first ends the inning. Stretch time in Cleveland. The Indians on top 5-3.
Michael Brantley going to lead it off, and what a night he has had. 3 for 3, drove in a run with a single in the first, singled in the third, singled in the fifth, and made a beautiful catch out in left field to end an inning.
Yeah, you wonder if this is the kind of game that really signifies he's pretty close to being back to where he wants to be.
Let's not rush it. Let's be patient.
Yeah.
He came back. He has a base hit to right, base hit up the middle, base hit to left. This is a nice game for him. It's certainly going to give him a little confidence, I would think.
Lifted to center. Romine makes the catch. 1 down. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Let's watch the location. Down and in, he pulls it into the hole, drives in a run. Second at bat, little breaking ball, middle of the plate, went right back up the middle with it, and then went with a fastball. Remember, it was a full count. He had him down 0-2, and he didn't put him away. Brantley got him with a base hit to left. So that's 3 pretty darn good at bats. And the Indians with 12 hits tonight. Again, they're in double digits. They had that 4-run first. You'd still like to see them add on late in this game, because 5-3, they only need 1 base runner, and you know Detroit. It showed, like in the 4th inning, they can come back, get a guy or 2 on base, and they can take 1 swing and get back into it.
Mike Napoli had that big 3-run homer in the first. Just showed you Brantley had 3 hits in the game. How about the night Edwin Encarnacion is having for Toronto? They're up 11-1. He's driven in 6 runs tonight already for Toronto.
Wow. Oh, that was a 4-game series with Texas, huh?
A 2-1. Good curveball. Toronto's got that kind of offense, so they can get hot and hurry. And if they win tonight, which you would assume they will, up 11-1, they get back to 500 now on the year. AL East, only 3.5 games separates first and fourth. Slowly tapped back to the mound. 2 away. Remember this play last night, Michael Brantley went back nicely on that ball. And then tonight had to go a little bit farther on the reach.
Yeah, last night that was routine. Tonight, a much better play, especially at the time of the game. That runner on base. And, you know, they had a 2-run lead at the time. And, boy, they brought in Manship for that only out. And it was Michael Brantley's save in that situation.
Carlos Santana 1 out of 3. He doubled in the first. Down in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes.
This is exactly what Santana had last time in that inning where they had 2 guys on and a chance to really open it up against Fulmer. He had a 2-0 count. He swung at 3 consecutive sliders. Change up, and you see the pull off. That swing there just tells me he's looking for a fastball, and he's swinging no matter what, and it was a changeup. Another changeup for a strike.
The shift on, that's a relatively easy play for the third baseman Nick Castellanos in shallow right field. You don't see that every day. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. All right, well, say hello to Allie Burke. That's the daughter of former Fox producer Tony Burke and his wife Carrie.
No kidding.
She's here with her Notre Dame college softball teammates tonight.
Boy, have they grown up, huh?
I know, huh?
Unbelievable. I'm sure mom and dad are at home watching, facing Tony. Hello if you're watching. And she's a true Tribe fan, isn't she?
Oh, yeah. She wouldn't have been allowed to be raised any other way.
No, that's for sure. Good for them. I didn't know that. Nice to see her.
Brian Shaw coming on now for the Indians here in the 8th inning. He's got the top of the order, and then Cody Allen, you would imagine, will be coming on to pitch in the 9th. Zach McAllister did his job, a 1-2-3-7, striking out a pair. Shaw's already had quite a bit of history with the Tigers this year. He had the rubber ring gate in Detroit. And then the other night when he faced him, he made sure that they saw he took his rubber ring off before he threw the first pitch of the inning. Only faced 2 batters and got them both out. Smashed up the middle and diving stop by Jason Kipnis. And that is a huge out, number 1 in the 8th inning. Kinsler stung it right up the gut. And Kipnis with a diving stab going right up the middle.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that's a huge play because that's base hit all over it. Kipnis takes it away. What a great defensive play there by Kip. Got a good jump, catches it. Tying run comes to the plate if he gets on. And you're going into the big part of that lineup. Yeah, something to smile about. No doubt about it. Good defense again by the Indians tonight.
Now J.D. Martinez 0 for 3. Swing and a miss. The only error for the Indians tonight came when Martinez was at the plate, second batter of the game, and just a low throw by Juan Uribe over to first base. But it's nice that, you know, it seemed like in years past, and this is probably generalizing too much, but it just seemed like any time in the past when the Indians made an error, and 3-4 runs, it was costly.
Unearned runs.
Yeah.
They've given up the fewest, and that makes a difference when you give up. They've given up 2 unearned runs on the year. Makes a huge difference. Yeah, you can make errors. Errors are going to happen. They're all part of the game. But boy, when you compound it by giving up runs and offensively you struggle and you're helping other teams score runs, that hurts.
Popped foul. Napoli gives it a look. I don't think he's got room to get it. It's in the seats. Now the 2-2. By the way, talking about that Toronto-Texas game earlier, not only does Edwin Encarnacion have 6 RBIs for Toronto, but imagine if you're Texas going into that game. Back-to-back walk-off losses. I think they've had 7 walk-off losses already this year. They've got to have some concerns about their bullpen. And Derek Holland got tagged for all 11 of those runs in 2 2/3 innings today. Lindor throws out J.D. Martinez, 2 gone in the 8th. MLB is back on Saturday on FS1, and it will be the Texas Rangers taking on these Detroit Tigers. It's a game on FS1. Then the Nationals head to Wrigley to battle the Cubs. All the action 12:30 Eastern on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. For Francisco Lindor, that's his 12th assist in the last 2 games. He's been a busy man.
Well, that's fun. I mean, that's why you're up the middle of the diamond. Anytime you get opportunities to make plays, you're in the ball game, you love it. Keeps you loose.
In the air, center field, right center, and coming in is Chisenhall, who makes the catch. 1, 2, 3. Jason Kipnis with a fantastic defensive play. Brian Shaw with a perfect 8th inning. Brought to you by Mazda. For Trevor Bauer, keep it down. He only gave up 3 hits in 5 2/3 innings. Unfortunately, one of those hits wound up on the other side of the fence for a 3-run homer. But outside of that, he pitched very well. And the Indians came out on fire with runners in scoring position. And that's when they scored 4 runs in that first inning. Alex Wilson on for the 8th time this year. He's got the bottom third of the Indians order coming up here. Home half of the 8th inning. And a 5-3 Indians lead. They've out-hit Detroit 12-3. But only a 2-run lead on the scoreboard. So
yeah, you're right. It looks like it could be a lot worse, but it is not.
Well, Fulmer, he got helped out, or helped himself out in the first inning when he struck out the last 2 hitters with 2 men on base. Otherwise, that 4-run first could have been a lot worse. He could have been out of the game. Then in the 3rd and 4th innings, the Indians got leadoff singles, and then the next guy hit into double play both times, and that helped him out tremendously. They had back-to-back 1-out singles in the 5th, but couldn't do anything with that. Leadoff single again in the 6th, and unable to get him home. Otherwise, this could be a more lopsided score. Kinsler knocks it down, then falls down. And a leadoff single for Juan Uribe.
Well, I thought if Kinsler holds on to it, he's going to be out. But that ball was hit on the nose. He made a stab. And once he slips, nothing you can do. I think he wanted to. You see that left foot gave way, falls down. It'll be a hit for Uribe, and we'll get a pinch runner where Ramirez will come in, pinch run for Uribe, and go in and play third base. Put a little speed on the bases. It's a big run out there. Like to get it home.
Ronnie Chisenhall, Tigers wondering if he'll bunt. No. Broken bat single instead. And Ramirez hits second and holds right there. Probably a wise decision. J.D. Martinez came in and got to it quickly.
Well, you just come in there and shattered his bat off the end. It wasn't hit hard enough. Ramirez was no way he was going to get to third base. So you just go, you're in scoring position, and now you got Jimenez. He was going to bunt the last time up in the 6th inning when Chisenhall got aboard. So I'm sure here they may push him over and try and move him into scoring position.
Well, Miguel Cabrera is already a third of the way to home plate. And first, they're going to get the manager, Brad Ausmus, coming out.
I'll talk about the defense here because nobody was up and throwing. So he's just going to meet out there, bring the infielders in, and talk about how he wants to set this play up. Indians now 14 hits.
Blaine Hardy just starting to get loose. I suppose he could potentially be on to face Kipnis, turn Lindor around and face Brantley, but let's put the cart before the horse because Jimenez and then Rajai Davis, both right-handed hitters, due up first. And a big opportunity here to add to a 2-run lead as Cody Allen getting loose in the pen. In on the grass at third is Castellanos. Cabrera in on the grass at first. And Miguel Cabrera looks like he's going to be charging. Jimenez pulls it back, and it's ball 1, and Cabrera was sprinting towards the plate.
A situation where you want to bunt it to the third base side if you're going to bunt. The key is bunting strikes, and he took a ball right there. You got to get it in your zone, and you want to make Castellanos field the ball because his only play would be first base, and you'd get your job done.
And he bunted that one foul over toward the Tiger dugout.
I'll tell you what, though, in a situation like this, Jimenez went to right field his last at bat. He's going to look and get the signs. With Cabrera charging the way he is, there's nothing wrong with letting him swing the bat and go that way. I mean, if you're a hitter and you feel like you're getting cramped that way, and they're going to pitch you away anyway because they don't want you to bunt down the third baseline, take that little shot and just make sure you hit it on the ground, because Cabrera won't be able to catch it. His eyes will open wide.
He'll be hitting the dirt.
Yeah, when he sees you swinging.
He swings, and he swung through it.
He wasn't convinced he could do that.
And now the mystery is out of the air. The Tigers don't expect him to bunt with 2 strikes, so they back up. Remember last time up, he hit a ball to right field that was maybe shoulder high and almost got a big hit out of it. Martinez made a pretty good running catch. Jimenez homered back in the 4th inning. That's the last run for the Tribe tonight. That's in the dirt. And a nice pick by Saltalamacchia. 2-2. The 2-2, low and away, full count.
Trying to get him to chase the breaking ball away and just be patient. Pressure's on the pitcher. He's got to get in the zone.
Rajay Davis waits on deck. Big hole on the right side as Kinsler keeps Ramirez close at second. Upstairs, ball for the bases.
That's a nice
loaded.
Patient at bat there by Jimenez. Well done.
And Rajay Davis is going to bat with the bases full of Indians and nobody out here in the 8th inning. This is only the 7th, is that right? The 7th at bat of the year with the bases loaded.
I'll tell you, they have not had the opportunities, and I mean, this is a prime opportunity to take Detroit way out of the game here. You get a couple runs.
Infield in. Line drive base hit into center field. Ramirez scores. Chisenhall around third. He scores 2. How do you like Rajay Davis? A 2-run single here in the 8th to extend the Indians' lead to 7-3. And that's going to be it for Alex Wilson as Brad Ausmus takes a slow walk to the center of the diamond. The former Tiger Rajay Davis, with the infield drawn in, just shot it right back up the gut. He plates a pair, and the Indians lead it by 4. Ausmus goes to the bullpen, and we'll be right back. just opened it up. Gave the Indians some breathing room. Bases loaded. Rajay.
Boy, got a slider and didn't waste it. No time with the infield in. A nice position to hit in. Drives in a pair for Davis, giving his 10th and his 11th RBI. And man, that increases it now, makes it a 7-3 game. 15 hits. And still nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Kipnis coming to the plate.
Well, Blaine Hardy's 6th appearance of the year. Jason Kipnis is 2 for 4 tonight with 2 singles and a run scored. So that hit by Rajay Davis, the Indians' first with the bases loaded this year as a team. And Tom Buscemic says the only team in baseball without a bases loaded hit is the Kansas City Royals.
Tommy's got to tell us that tonight. Who's coming to town tomorrow, Tommy? The Kansas City Royals.
And Jason Kipnis fouls one back.
Tipped it off his bat.
He started, wanted to stop, couldn't do it.
Yeah, one of those in-between swings where he wasn't sure, checks his swing, and it deflects off the bat and off of Salto Lamacchia.
Ground ball towards second. Kinsler. He flips it by Aviles. Everybody's safe, and they're reloaded.
Wow. It looked like a good flip, but it was a double play ball all the way. I want to see who they're going to give the error to. I mean, routine double play ball, you get it? There it was. Now, Aviles was going to the back side of the bag. Kinsler flipped it to the front side. I'm sure where probably Iglesias a lot of times takes that ball. But he gets the start tonight out there. It'll be an error on Aviles.
That was a weird one. And Lindor pops one up. Right side of the infield. Kinsler makes the catch, and that's out number 1. Now Michael Brantley will step in. He's already had a good night. 3 hits, another RBI, and a run scored. Down in the dirt, Brantley watches it go by. Just leaned back, kind of turned out of the way.
Yeah, break a ball inside. The patience is there. He's not going to go after and chase a bad pitch. This is the first time he's had an opportunity with bases loaded. He's had a great night to this point. 3 hits out of 4 at-bats. He's sitting for something he wants to. It's a free at-bat for him with 1 out.
And a foul back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That patient approach by Brantley and the ability to use all fields. Base hit to right his first time up, right back up the middle in the third, and then a laser to left in the fifth inning. Which is why, even with runners on base, if there was nobody on base, the Tigers infield pretty much plays them straight up. Foul right back. At third base, Chris Jimenez. At second base, Rajay Davis, and at first, Jason Kipnis. 2 runs already in here in the 8th. And a pop back out of play.
Yeah, he's not going easily. He wants to get another runner in. And the Tigers, they're looking for a double play. They want to keep it a 4-run game, because you put any more on there, and I don't care how many hits you get, it's tough to do. Indians looking to sweep the Tigers for the second consecutive time they have played this year. First time was in Detroit.
2-2. Upstairs, all the way to the backstop. Here comes Jimenez, the flick to the pitcher, and they got him.
Yes, they did.
Caught a break because that ball hit the hard glass door behind home plate and ricocheted right back to Saltalamacchia. He barely had to move.
Wow, that was a perfect deflection. It's a wild pitch, and
it hit the umpire's
it went off
mask.
the top of his head. It comes straight back, and Salty flips it, and Hardy gets in there in time to get the slide of Jimenez, so that'll be an out. The other 2 runners move up to second and third. That'll give him 2 outs now, and now a 3-2 count to Brantley. Look at Shaw's laughing at him. Saying, what were you doing there?
Yeah, I didn't really look to see how far down the line he had come when the ball hit that back door. Brantley rockets one to right, deep into the corner. Fair ball! Davis and Kipnis both come home. Michael Brantley drives in 2 more, and that's a big dagger for the Tribe.
I'll tell you one thing, he's locked in now. Boy, that was a good at-bat.
His 4th hit of the game. Give him 3 runs batted in on the night, and the Indians lead by a half dozen.
That thing caught chalk, I think, down the line. I mean, he left him a pitch up in the end, and he just turned on it. Let's see it land. It got down to the base of the wall. Ooh, Chalk City. Right on the line. Short hops the wall. Brantley gets a double, picks up 2 more runs.
A 4-run 8th to go along with a 4-run first for the Indians tonight. Aviles throws out Napoli, and we'll go to the 9th with the Indians in command, looking for another sweep of the Tigers.
9-3, Tribe leads the Tigers along with Jensen Lewis. I'm Al Pulowski here at the corner. Boy, Jensen, the Indians batting order today getting it done. And how about Dr. Smooth? 4 base hits.
4 base hits. Nice job on Impact Indian. You finally get on the
Thank
board.
you.
But I'll tell you what, we'll talk about this in the postgame show. I think the big 3, I think they found a new home.
I think they might have. We'll tell you what that new home is coming up on Indians Live. It's brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Let's go back upstairs now for the call of the 9th inning. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, take it away.
Well, the Indians certainly got things rolling earlier tonight in the middle of that lineup. Played a big role. Lindor, Brantley, and Napoli as they helped to drive in all 4 runs. And then in the 8th inning, it was Brantley again with 2 more huge RBIs. As the Indians,
well, it was just nice to see Michael swing the bat tonight, man. He had what a great night at the plate for Brantley, and a great catch.
Jose Ramirez takes over at third after he pinch ran for Uribe. So Jabba Chamberlain will pitch tonight. Cody Allen, he was up, he was hot, he was ready, but no need to use him. Especially without an off day tomorrow. You get Kansas City coming in, so he may be needed at some point tomorrow night. We'll get the rest of this one to watch, or at least you would hope. That's the beauty of baseball. Without a clock, you never know for sure. Victor Martinez 1 for 3 on the night. Just a bit outside. Victor Martinez came into tonight with a 341 average. That's the 3rd best in the American League. A little bit low with a heater. Victor also came in tonight tied for 4th in the league with 10 doubles already. Now you think back over the last 10 or so years, we've seen some pretty good doubles hitters between Victor, Grady Sizemore, Jason Kipnis, Michael Brantley. We've seen some guys that can roll up the doubles.
Yeah. The amazing thing for me, Victor, he's not a guy that can run and you know, stretch him and get doubles like that where some of the other guys are.
No, his doubles are all pure.
They're legit, man. Yeah, he doesn't leg them out.
There's no hustle double out of the box.
Hits the left field line, right field line, anywhere you go.
Think about Victor Martinez and Jabba Chamberlain. They were adversaries in the 07 playoffs, then teammates in Detroit. Now on opposite sides again. Full count.
Yeah, 0-2 to 3-2. Victor's that same kind of guy with 2 strikes. A tough one to put away. You might be able to get ahead of him, but you're going to have to make a quality pitch to put him away.
Wish you played for the Tribe still.
9-3 Cleveland in the 9th. And Jabba Chamberlain ready with a 3-2 pitch. Swing and a foul ball. The Indians will welcome in the defending world champion Kansas City Royals tomorrow night. 3-game series. We'll have it for you right here on Sports Time Ohio. Alan Jensen kick it off at 6:30 with Indians Live. First pitch 7 o'clock. Good matchup tomorrow night. A couple of guys that bring the heat. Giordano Ventura for Kansas City. Danny Salazar for the Indians. 3-2 chop back to Chamberlain. Somehow he reached back and snared it and throws him out. 1 away. looked like it was by him, but somehow he was able to get back with the glove and keep it from getting up the middle.
Well, he's fallen off to the first base side, and he goes, and that's every inch that he was able to stretch, was able to put it out there. I wonder if he has any bubble gum in that glove that he throws at Andre that helped it stick in there. Made a nice backhanded play there.
All right, Justin Upton is 1 out of 3. He doubled in the 6th inning, giving him 4 hits in the series. And to me, Rick, baseball's a game. We love the stats. We love to delve into all the numbers. The most important stat for me in this 3-game series, Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez, 1 RBI combined.
Yeah, you got to beat them. It's just been, it really has been domination by the Indians in the first 6 games of these two teams.
Yeah, not just this series.
Right.
The first 6 games.
The starting pitchers have been outstanding for the Indians, and they've dominated their pitchers. They've hit with runners in scoring position. They played good defense. They've dominated on both sides of the ball. So the Indians, boy, it's been a long overdue payback, I'm sure. But you can't play any better than they have played against the Tigers to this point.
And just missing 1 and 2. Well, you think about this. When the Indians went to Detroit, they had lost 2 straight, 1 in walk-off, or not walk-off, but 1 in extra innings to the Seattle Mariners. And they beat the Tigers 3 straight. They came into this series as Upton is rung up on the heels of being swept by Philadelphia. And the Tigers came in rolling with a 5-game win streak. Go figure. What is momentum? Doesn't exist, I don't think. Not in this game.
Well, there you're looking at the numbers in the first 6 games that the Indians have played the Tigers, and if you can handle those 3 guys like that, you deserve to win every game, because those are 3 terrific hitters right there. And you look at the previous few seasons before that, up in the 340s. So good for the Indians.
With 2 down, the batter is Nick Castellanos. He's been the lone bright spot for the Tigers offense in this 3-game series. He's the only reason they're on the board tonight. Line to center, coming hard. Rajay dives but couldn't get to it. And backed up smartly by Brantley. And his throw to second base might end it, but it gets by Lindor. And Castellanos hustles in with a 2-out double.
Well, this kid is 2 hits in every game of the series. He's leading the league in hitting, and you can see why. He just finds a way to put it in play, and Davis comes in to try and make a catch and a short hop, and it just gets it out in front of him, deflects off him. Brantley hustles to pick it up and tries to make that throw to get him at second base. But again, another hop right there that Lindor can't handle. It was a little outside. He goes in with a double. So they have, what, 4 hits now, and Castellanos has 2 of them.
Indians have out-hit the Tigers tonight 16-4. And Jared Saltalamacchia 0 for 3 on the night. Takes ball 1. Broken bat grounder, but with the shift on, it's a base hit. That's going to bring home a run as Castellanos will score from second, and Jared Saltalamacchia has a 2-out RBI hit. Boy, he didn't hit that hardly at all, but when you play that big over shift, there was nobody home on the left side of the infield to make a play there. A 9-4 ball game, and Mike Aviles is the batter. Aviles 0 for 3 has struck out twice tonight. And as you pointed out, Rick, he's not getting, nor will he figure to get, the kind of playing time with Detroit that he got in Cleveland, and especially when you've got a guy like Andrew Romine already on their team.
Yeah, and you don't pinch hit for a lot of those guys on this team. You just don't do it.
Aviles waves at a pitch in the dirt. It's 0-2. Just over 10,350 in attendance here tonight as the Indians look to finish off a sweep of the Detroit Tigers. Chamberlain ready, the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out to end the game, and the sweep is complete. 9-4 is the final as the Indians push their record up over the 500 mark to 13-12, and they send Detroit on their way with a mark of 14-13. Trevor Bauer will get the win tonight. He goes to 2-0. The loss to Michael Fulmer. He is 1-1 on the season. But boy, this was a night where the Indians came out smoking again, as they have outscored the Tigers 11-0 in the first inning of their 6 games played so far this year. And that big first inning was just too much for Detroit to overcome.
That's what I'm saying. When you can put a big crooked number, 3-4 runs, and that was the most they've scored in the first inning this year, tied when they played Boston. It takes the momentum away, especially when you won the first 2 games. But they were able to respond after Detroit tried to come back and hit a 3-run homer. They did it in another game in this series, and then they added on late. So, I mean, they've had their number. And I'll tell you what, you can't play the Tigers any better than the Indians have played them for 6 straight games. So they're on a roll. This was a great 3 days for the Indians. They got a little momentum. They got to feel good about themselves, because tomorrow the Kansas City Royals will come to town.
And I'm kind of excited about the way Michael Brantley is starting to swing the bat right
now. Oh boy,
too.
you got to be thrilled with that. It was beautiful tonight.
9-4 is the final score, and we'll be back with some final thoughts right after this.